Hey, on that straight gate, man. Hey, trying to find peace in a world full of darkness. That is the hardest. Wise like a serpent, but like a dove harmless. Watching with sharpness. Everywhere I look, I see the devil's incarnate. With spiritual varnish, trying to hide the fact that they mock and heartless, heart-hardened with the hardness. Rakakadash harness, feeling like a Spartan, kicking up the heartless from wicked or departed. Body's a temple, turned to a fortress, purge out the evil like a catharsis, lift the old meat like a carcass. Cause his sin blotted him like scarlet, feeling like David, I'm a harpist. Now my new French garment are tarnished. The straight gate I started, blessed with this gift. Now my flow cold as the Arctic, but stay grounded like a carpet. Weeds of pride can't even get started. In my mind, that's a garden. Gotta pluck them out or get sorted. Not tried by Judah, but I'm straight lion-hearted. Can't bring back to life that wickedness I aborted. Most can't even begin to understand this path I'm on. It's just not for them. Narrow's the path that leads to life, and few there be that find it. Broad is the path that leads to destruction, and many there be that go in there at. Just trying to let my light shine. Now they looking at me like I ain't in my right mind. Signs of the end times. They all be drunk, sipping on Babylon wine. Damn, man, they love it. Put nothing above it, that is they idols, so they my rivals. We contend with the wicked while keeping it tribal. You'll be held liable for sins you committing won't be justifiable. Come back to the Bible. I'm calling you Jacob, come back to the Bible. But y'all don't want to hear that. I can see I really fear that. You trying to stay clear that. Don't even wanna believe the fact that you chosen. End time prophecy unfolding while the word molding. All of it's chosen, repentance is closing. Come back to the Bible, Jacob, I'm hoping for you. If you walk this path, there's no one before you. Keep laws and faith to the Most High, you'll floor you forever. The entrance to the kingdom is straight and narrow, set in a dangerous place. Like there's fire on the one side and deep water on the other. So small that only one man can go at a time. It's easy to fall, man.
The spirit bears witness of you devils. Heathens all around, but I'ma hold it down. To the 12 gates to make it from the ghettos. Rags to riches, slaves to kings and wearing crowns. First you gotta make it to the straight gate. That life of sin you must vacate. Many are called, but few of them chosen. We doing the works for his name's sake. I plant the seed, you can water it. Look at the fruits that Yahweh brought out of it. I was a heathen and proud of it. Till he uprooted my life, I grew out of it. I open Bible up every day. Speak to my people to elevate. They believe there's one heaven gate. Narrow the path you must navigate. We in the loss of identity, but the Bible is our remedy. I raise my hand to the heavenly, knowing that he will never be forgetting me. Humble myself in sincerity, worshipping idols the enemy. Don't you know he is the Alpha, Omega, beginning and end? You must be out your mind. Are you Kennedy? Are you kidding me?
Shalom, shalom, Yasharallah. So I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. And I do so in the name of his only son, Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? So this isn't going to be really a lesson, as most of y'all know. I'm just going to go over a few things or a few questions that I've been getting pertaining to the land. And Salakia, if I still got grass all over me and my beard and everything. I just got home from work, and I didn't really get to prepare nothing. But if y'all have any questions or anything like that, I can go ahead and answer any questions. But if not, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen and just show y'all a few things, right? So I know a few brothers and sisters had asked about or ask certain questions, so I'm just going to go ahead and try and answer them on here real quick, right? So first of all, we're located in a small town, or outside of a small town called Los Fresnos, Texas, right? It's right next to the most south border you can possibly get in the United States. Right? So the majority of people here are so-called Hispanics. That's the first thing I'll say, right? And not all of them are Israel, because you could tell a lot of them have the spirit, that Edomite or Spaniard spirit of I'm better than you. So don't just assume that they're all Israelites, right? But there is a lot of Israel around here as well, right? So I'm gonna pull up the map real quick just to give y'all an idea of where the land is gonna be at, because I know that was one of the main questions I was getting. You know what? I'm just gonna go to an actual. I'm just gonna go to a picture map, because that's gonna take. It's probably gonna slow down my computer if I do it like that. So yeah, the land is outside of Los Fresnos, Texas. It's actually not even in Los Fresnos, Texas. So let me put map. So yeah, Los Fresnos, Texas, as you can see here, obviously Mexico is under it, right? It's not just the Gulf of Mexico all the way around, but Los Fresnos, Texas is literally at the bottom tip of Texas, right? Let me see if I can find a better map or a closer map. So I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Brownsville, Texas, would be the closest. Guess I might have to go to maps. Brownsville, Texas is the closest big city to it. I wouldn't even say it's that big though. It's probably 150,000 people, maybe 200,000 people. Right, if you look down here, it says Los Fresnos is a city in Cameron County, Texas, United States. The population was 6,542. So even though it's not inside the city limits of Los Fresnos itself is actually a very, very small town, right? So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. So as you can see right here, this line is the Texas to Mexico border, right? This is the Gulf of Mexico. This right here, it says South Padre Island. That's a real, I believe it's like the third most popular spring break destination in the whole United States, right? That's the closest. That's probably what people may have heard of the most. But then there's this city right here called Brownsville. I don't know why it's not saying it. And then there's Harlingen right here. If you're going to end up moving over here, and then Mexico, this is Matamoros. This is Mexico already, right? This line is Mexico. So right here marks Los Fresnos, right? It's really at the bottom of Texas. Let me zoom out a little bit so y'all can see. So San Antonio, probably everybody's heard of San Antonio, is 4 hours away from here, right? Then Corpus Christi, you might have heard of that, is about 2 hours away, right? Austin's about 6 hours away. So it's really, that's the first thing I'll say about it. It's really far away from everything else. Okay, like I know a brother that's gonna come over here next week to visit and get baptized, and he lives all the way over here in Arizona. I think he said it's like 20 hours away, right? I know a brother that's in Colorado. He's about, I think, 18, 20 hours away. So that's the first thing, is the location, right? It's all the way down at the tip of Texas. So let me go to the comments real quick. How cool. I'm from Fresno, California. Hadn't heard of Los Fresnos. I like that it's located near Mexico. So Khan, it's right. It's literally like a few minutes away from Mexico, right? So that's the first thing. I know a lot of people were asking, where is it located, right? So that's where it is. It's at the tip of Texas, right? And like I said, if you're thinking about coming down here, Harlingen, maybe San Benito, these two cities right here, and then Brownsville is right here. I don't know why it's not showing the name. Oh, it shows down here. Brownsville, which is this whole area here. That's most likely where you would have to get a job if you're not rich like me and like most Israelites. you're probably gonna have to get a job in Harlingen, maybe Olmito, San Benito, or Harlingen, which they're all only about 15 minutes away. San Benito is like 10 minutes away. The closer part of Brownsville, 10 minutes, 15. Harlingen and Brownsville, the deeper part of Brownsville, is only about 20 minutes away, right? So the land is actually not in Los Fresnos, like I said. It's more over in this area where you see all the green, right? Let me also say though that there's been some people that have just flat out asked me if they can move out here, and I told them to watch this because, I mean, like I've said many times before, especially right now that it's spring, I have a lot of work and I have my own small business, and I do cutting trees and cutting yards and stuff like that. And with the winter freeze that came down here in Texas, I have a lot of work because trees died and all this stuff. But I'm saying all that to say that I have probably more than 50 messages, unread messages on my Instagram. So if I haven't gotten back to you, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that it's literally too much sometimes for me to answer everybody. So everybody who asked, can I move to your land? And can I, how much is it? I'm down, I'm gonna do it, all this stuff. Let me just say there's going to be a, it's not really an application, but if you're actually interested, like seriously interested in possibly moving out here, right? I'll go over some of the jobs and stuff at the end of this, just so you can see. There's a lot of jobs around here, but they don't pay as much as up north because a lot of the people that are down here working are actually immigrants and they work for cheap, right? But that being said, as I'll go over some of the prices for like some of the housing and stuff like that we're planning on putting, and it's not very expensive, right? But saying all that to say, there is gonna be, if you're serious about actually moving on the land, then you can email me. I don't want you to message me on Instagram because, like I said, I have so many messages that come in every day and they get pushed down and I can't get to all of them. If you're seriously interested in possibly moving onto the property, which, like I said, most high willing, we're gonna get it by the end of May. We already have enough for the down payment. We have someone who's looking to invest. I'm putting together like a plan, I guess you could say, of how we're gonna do things. And we have a property that we're going to sell in order to acquire this bigger property, which that's probably going to take at least a month, which is why I'm saying most high willing, we'll get it by the end of May. If you're seriously interested though, email me. I'm gonna put my email address in the bio, in the caption or description of this video, and it's also in the description of all the lives that I've done. It's kingdoms.path.144@gmail if you're seriously interested. And I'm going to send you, it's not really an application, but it's just some basic questions to try the spirit, I guess you could say, right? Because let me tell you, as soon as I said about like we're going to get land and we want to do a community and stuff like this, I've had some pretty questionable characters saying that they want to move onto the land and I'll do this and even I'll give you this much money, just let me go out there and stuff like that. It's really not about how much money you can donate. I mean, if you can, right, that's awesome. That would really be helpful. But at the same time, it's not really about that. You're gonna have to, me and you would obviously have to have a few conversations. We could do either on the phone or video chat, things of that nature. And but it all starts with doing the whole like application, which is just questions. Actually, let me pull it up real quick. I think it's about 30 questions, and just to gauge your spirit, to gauge what kind of mindset and what kind of spirit you're in, right? Because like I said, I've already had some really, I'll just say, questionable spirits hit me up and say, hey, I'm down. I'll go out there and we'll do this and we'll do that, and I got this much to put down and this, and it didn't come off as the right spirit, right? So I'm not going to read all of these because there's, let me see, there is about 30 questions. Some of them aren't even questions, right? It's just like, I'll read y'all a couple of them. So one of them, okay, one of the questions is, I'm just going to randomly go, right? One of the questions is, if you are a brother and have a different understanding than me and others when it comes to observance of feast days, holy days, Sabbath days, etc., are you willing to have a discussion / forum with me and or other brothers, depending on how many brothers are living on the land, in order to diligently seek to come to a common and agreed upon understanding, right? So that goes with like Philippians 2:2, which says that we all have to be of one mind, accord, things of that nature, right? Let me see. I'm just gonna go down. Another one of the questions: are you single, married, divorced, and how many children or people do you plan on having move onto the property with you, right? So it's just basic questions, you know, and there's also some other ones. Oh, Khan, the water, Danya Allah posted up my email, right? So that's my email right there at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, the water for that. So another one is, if you're a brother moving onto the land, are you willing and able to go out and travel on Sabbath to nearby cities to go out and preach the word, right? So it's just simple questions like that. And then there's a few like hypothetical situations, right? So like, for example, I'm just gonna randomly pick one. Okay, it says you're living, so this is under the category of like hypothetical situations. You're living on the property and you're struggling with buying or having enough food, water, or necessities for yourself or your household. What would you do, right? So there's like 10 of those hypothetical situations, and then just random questions, kind of to gauge your spirit, right? And there's no real like 100% set, this is the wrong thing, this is the right thing to say, right? There's it's nothing like that. This is just to make sure you're in the right spirit, and to be perfectly honest, to make sure you're not crazy, right? Because I've had some people that came off as crazy already, saying like, basically inviting themselves, I'm gonna go and we're gonna do this and things of that nature. And so that's just to gauge your spirit, right? So if you're really interested at the end of this, or maybe in a few days, weeks, whatever you see this, and you're interested, I could send you the questions just to get started, because it is going to be first come, first serve, right? Me personally, so the land is about 5.2 acres, right? 5.2 acre or 5.2 something acres. So that's a pretty big amount of land. But me personally, from my family and my household, which we have 6, we want to keep at least half an acre, you know, for our personal area, right? Then one person who's very serious in investing, and they want to invest a good $15,000 to $20,000, which I'm not saying, I don't expect that from anybody else, but this person just came to me and said, you know, they want at least half an acre as well, right? So that's already that leaves about 4.5 acres left. We need at least 1 for growing food, right? And then 1 for animals, which that leaves what, about maybe 2.5, maybe 3 acres left, which is a good amount, because the first our first idea was like maybe 1 family or 1 person per 1/4 of an acre, right? So if we have, say, 3 acres left over, that would still be enough room for at least maybe 8 to 10, maybe 12 people or families or houses, right? Or homes on the property, right? So it is going to be like a first come, first serve type of thing as soon as we get it. And like I said, it's all going to start with like the whole application type of thing, right? So let me show y'all. This is the one that we're looking into getting for my household, right? So it's called a TR 1600, right? And people normally turn the top into two bedrooms, and there's even a loft. You can get it with the loft on one side for like more sleeping space or storage space, stuff like that. But let me show y'all. I know y'all probably saw it already, how the inside kind of looks in some of the pictures that I posted not too long ago. But let me just show y'all again, in case. I know there was a few brothers that don't have Instagram, and they said they were going to check this out. So this shed house right here, right, which they have all different sizes. You go down right here. Let me zoom in. So there's all different sizes. The one we were looking at, I believe, was 18 by 28 or 18 by 32. One of these, right? But if you look at the monthly costs for the payments, they're actually pretty reasonable, right? $273 a month, $321 a month. Even the biggest one, which is 18 by 36, that's a pretty good size. Plus, it's upstairs and downstairs, right? So that's $357 a month. You know, and if you have really good credit, you actually don't have to, you can not put anything down. You'll just be paying for a longer period of time, which to me, that doesn't matter about paying for a longer period of time, because I don't believe we have that much time left, right? Especially with society out as it is. So 23,000, I doubt anybody has that much cash. Well, I know at least one brother does, but the majority of us don't have 23,000 cash sitting around, right? So this is the main type of structure or housing we're looking at, right? And the inside, for the brothers that don't have Instagram, hold up, what's this? So yeah, that's another thing. The good thing about getting it through Home Depot is that they can actually build it on the property instead of delivering it, right? Because the land that we're at has a lot of trees, or the land we want to get has a lot of trees, and it would be really hard to get a big old flatbed truck in there. So it would be better being built on the property, right? But yeah, so this is the downstairs, just enough for like a little living room, a little kitchen, and a restroom. Oh, it's actually a video. Let me see if it'll play. So yeah, that's like one of the options. Now, obviously, you have to hold on, let me see if I can pause this. Okay. So I think there's some pictures down here too. Hold on. So yeah, this is just one of the designs that somebody came up with, right? Which for a small house, like it really looks pretty nice. But the thing is that you have to keep in mind is that you are gonna have to have at least maybe 2,000 to build the inside, right? Because they come without any of this, obviously. Now me and I have a friend or another brother that is willing to help, but I have experience with framing, with plumbing, even electrical stuff like that. I can do myself, especially if you're a brother and you can give me you can lend me your hands to help me do things like that. I could just show you what to do and we could get all that done. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a problem. But you just have to keep in mind, obviously, you're going to have to bring your own furniture. It's not going to come with none of this stuff on the inside, right? So this is the kitchen. And this goes back to, like I was saying, I think it was probably, what are we in, April, maybe in February, the end of February, I was saying, like, make sure you don't waste your stimulus check, because there's a lot of things that you could save it for or invest it in. And this is primarily what I was talking about myself, right? So hopefully, I mean, if you're getting taxes, if you got a stimulus, or you're going to be getting the stimulus taxes, whatever the case may be, you've saved at least some, right? Because, I mean, if you really think about it, actually, let me pull up a couple verses just so just to tell y'all why we got the idea of doing this, right? So this is Revelation 18:4. Revelation 18:4 says, and I heard, all right, I'm gonna take off my hat because I know somebody's gonna end up saying something later, right? Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Right? So this is talking about Babylon. Revelation 18, the whole chapter is talking about Babylon and then Babylon's destruction, right? And it's funny because as soon as I started saying we're gonna try and make like a small community, we're gonna try and live off grid, we're gonna try and as much as possible to provide for ourselves, because like I said, we're gonna have, the first thing we're gonna do for sure is have chickens and goats and sheep. This is the first thing, right? Because chickens, we can have the eggs, even though in my house we don't eat egg. Well, we eat egg whites, but not the yolk. We'll have a lot of eggs. We'll have chickens. If you've ever seen chickens or seen someone who has chickens, they multiply like crazy. They'll have a bunch of chicks. A lot of times they're what would you call it? Their cycles for their ovulation cycles will line up when they hang out together. So a lot of times they'll get pregnant at the same time and have a bunch of chicks. They multiply very easily. Then goats, I mean, they're good for cutting the property, the grass and stuff. You just move them around. And then the sheep, obviously, to eat and things of that nature. You can use their wool, stuff like that. But as soon as I started saying this, there was brothers, obviously, and mostly from GMS. I'm not even gonna try and beat around the bush, saying that you shouldn't be doing that. We're in the land of captivity, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing. And I guess they would rather just keep throwing away money. I mean, most of us paying money to Esau for rent, right? I guess they would just rather do that than come together, O nation not desired, right? But I didn't really understand that way of thinking, right? The way I see it is that we need to come out of her, right? And of course that starts spiritually, coming out of the ways of Babylon, out of the Christian church, out of the Catholic church, the whatever type of religious thinking you were in, the religious spirit you were in, right? But it says, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues. So we got to understand that, yes, we're protected by the Most High. If you're following his laws, statutes, commandments, precepts, these type of things. But like just where I live, for example, right next door, which there's about 2 lots in between us, so it's not that close, but right next door, some new people just moved in. They're always drinking, barbecuing, playing music super loud, just being reveling, being drunkards, stuff like that, right? Then right across the street, I got this Edomite dude and his girlfriend, rib, whatever you want to call it, who we go outside and you could smell blunt all the time, right? They're arguing inside, but we could still hear, if we take the dog outside, if whatever, right? We take our kids outside, you hear them arguing and cussing at each other in their home, but it's so loud that, you know what I mean? So we're supposed to come out of her spiritually first, but if we have the means to, come out of the cities and live out in nature for the most part, right? Because it's 5 acres, 5+ acres of trees and nature and birds and things of that nature, then I mean, why wouldn't we do it, right? Why wouldn't we do that? So I don't really understand the whole way of thinking that it's completely wrong and you're going off and all this stuff, right? And I realize that this place is not our rest, right? This isn't our rest, but it's better for us if we come out of the cities where all the wrath is going to come, right? Where all the plagues are really going to happen. It's a prudent thing to see that evil, right? Let me pull up this verse too real quick. It's a prudent thing to see, like, look, all these bad things, there's going to be famine, there's going to be hunger and all this stuff, and the cities is going to be the worst place to be, right? If you don't have no neighbors and you got all this land and you can grow your own food, because that's another thing. I've talked to some brothers who have financial advisors and things of that nature, and they're all saying the same thing. Even on some of the news, they're already saying that inflation by the end of the year is going to take prices of everything through the roof, right? Especially gas and food. So it would be very expedient to be getting or to be trying to grow our own food, right? Which I know next to the property where we're looking to buy, like there's a hill and there's a bunch of trees, and then there's a place where they grow organic cabbages, right? It says no spray zone, organic, whatever, right? So the ground is very fertile where we're looking to buy. This is specifically one of the reasons why we want to get that property in particular, because the ground is very fertile and you can grow potatoes, carrots, squash, cabbage, all those types of things, right? But going back to this, Proverbs 22:3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, right? If we go into, well, I'm not even going to go into it, but if you look at my lesson that I did on Jacob's trouble, for example, and you go into 2nd Ezra, the 15th and 16th chapter, which is talking about Jacob's trouble, or what Christians call the tribulation period, it says that in the cities, there's going to be people dying. There's going to be people breaking into people's houses, looking for food and doing all manner of wickedness, right? Your neighbor is going to turn against you and do all these things. So if you really believe that and you can foresee those evils, right? A good way, or one of the ways of hiding yourself, right, besides spiritually, physically, would be like getting out of the cities, living on your own land, growing your own food, staying away from people as much as possible, right? Because what we really want to do is get to the point where, okay, we can grow our own food, we can raise our own animals to the best of our ability, right? There's a Resaca not too far. It's actually the property we want to get, 5 acres. Then there's another property that's 5 acres. And then on the other side of that, there's a Resaca, which is a big body of water. And hopefully we can dig a trench and put some pipes running from it so we can get water from there. If not, then we're going to dig our own well, which I already talked to. I talked to one of my tios, one of my uncles who lives not too far, maybe like less than 10 minutes away from here. And he only had to dig, I believe, like 40 feet to get water from his land. So it should be around the same depth, right? For that, right? So let me read the comments real quick. Shalom, I really like this idea, brother. I fellowship with another ministry that encourages us to come out of her. They live off the land for the most part, and I'm very interested in this. So all praise to Most High. So there's, like I said, there's some people that are speaking against this, which I really don't understand. I really don't understand that. But there's even more brothers that have been hitting me up and saying, hey, that's good for you. Look, I'm doing the same thing, or planning on doing the same thing, or these brothers over here doing the same thing. We even got invited to go live in, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Ozark Mountains, but in the Ozark Mountains, there's actually many Israelites and even Israelite small communities like this that are going off grid. And it's a cool place. if you look at that area, it's a very good place for living off grid as well, right? But let me go back to this. So a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished, right? So if the Most High is putting the spirit on you to be like, okay, I feel like maybe I should get out of these cities. I'm in this huge city. Maybe there's 100, 500,000, a million people in the city. And you're thinking like, man, if let's say there's no food, or like the whole when the corona thing first hit and there was no toilet paper and people were already going crazy, beating each other up and stuff like that. So now imagine no food, right? If you read in Lamentations and some other parts of the Bible, it didn't take very long for them to start eating their own children when there was no food, when the famines hit, right? So there's no new thing under the sun, Ecclesiastes 1:9. These types of things are gonna happen. If you believe we're in the end times, you know eventually we're gonna get to that point, right? And like I said, I mean, there's food shortages all over the world. If you look into the news, there's Canada. I was talking to a brother that lives in Canada. They're already locked down again. They're going into extreme, they're taking extreme measures to get locked down again. So it's only a matter of time before it hits here again, right? So a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So let me go to Jeremiah actually. So this is Jeremiah 51:45. My people, go ye out of the midst of her. Right? What is the midst? That's the middle, right? So the middle it doesn't mean literally the middle of the United States or the middle of wherever you're at, right? It means like the middle of the midst of Babylon, like the midst of these highly populated areas, right? And deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yahweh. So deliver your soul, right? By going out of the midst. So if you think about it as well, there's so much less temptations, there's so much less ways that Satan can get to you when you're not in the cities. You're not out and seeing all these different abominations that everybody is perpetuating, whether it be smoking weed, whether it be fornication, whether it be adultery, whether it be whatever, just all manner of abominations, right? If we separate or go out of the midst of these areas, it's going to be a lot easier to deliver your soul. In other words, live according to the law, statutes, commandments, and precepts of the word, right? And that's another reason why I want to be very very vigilant, okay, and very prudent when it comes to who is going to be able to actually live on the land, right? Salakia. So it's like I was talking to a brother yesterday about like the camps thing, right? The Most High is, let's just say the Most High is working on a lot of people right now in certain camps and exposing a lot of people, right? And I'm not even just talking about like the whole Sakari thing that everybody knows about. There's a lot of people that are getting exposed right now or are about to get exposed, and some people that like a lot of men look up to, a lot of women learn from and look up to, and a lot of men follow these people. And so it just got me really thinking that I need to be very suspect and vigilant and prudent as to who is going to be able to live on the land, because like I've said many times, you know, Satan can come in fringes, man. So we're going to be very vigilant. We are trying to go out of the midst of her, right? And that's why we're going to have the whole questions. And the first thing, like I said, if you're interested, email me and I'll send you the questions. And then based off of that, I know some of the brothers that were hitting me up are gonna act crazy or answer crazy when it comes to some of these questions. So it's kind of weeding out process, right? And then from there we could talk more. We could talk maybe in person, whether it be on video chat or whatnot, and talk more about the actual details of where it is and how much, things like that, right? So another one of the questions was something like how much would you feel comfortable spending a month on your necessities, like on the house, property, light, water, something like that, right? I can't find it right now, but yeah, so my people, go ye out of the midst of her. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get out of the midst of the cities, the midst of the wickedness, and live basically like our ancestors were. Of course, we can't do it perfectly because we're still in captivity, right? But that's the whole idea, right? So going back to this, I mean, like I said, 273 a month for one of these is not bad, right? That's not bad at all. And then this is another option, which this is, it actually, it's about the same price, right? $250 a month. It just depends on the style that you like, right? You don't have to get the double doors, and the windows are movable. Like you can put them on different spots or whatever. I've seen some pretty cool ones like this too. Oh, let me see. Let me see if we can get like a picture of the inside real quick. So yeah, if y'all have any questions pertaining to this, you can go ahead and ask. Let me see if I can get some pictures of the inside of these. And there's a lot of different ones. There's a lot of different models and stuff like that. If you want to look into it for yourself, just go on HomeDepot.com or Lowe's.com. And there's all different types, all different shapes and sizes. These two that we're looking at though are pretty much the most common ones that are used, which is why we were looking at it. And oh look, this one had a pretty cool inside. I went to something else. I think it was this. Visit site. So yeah, this is actually, so this one someone turned into a house or like a cabin house, and hopefully it'll pull up right here. So it says they built a tiny barn cabin so they can live their dreams. She quit her job, now they work and travel together. So this is the 16 by 32 lofted barn, right? This is in Alabama, but they sell these 16 by 32 barns at all, pretty much all Home Depots, Lowe's, everything like that. So it's this, right? Which, like I said, it's only $250 a month. As long as you have a okay, decent credit, it'll be about $250, maybe $300 the most a month. But this is how they fixed it up, right? So it looks tiny from the outside, but if you look at the inside, so now they made the porch. That would be like an additional thing. Normally they just have like steps. So this is a little kitchen, little living room, which like for maybe one person, two people, maybe even up to four, 5 people if you have little children, this will be a pretty good size, right? The kitchen and then the living room on the side, a little pantry under the stairs, small table. But if you get one of the ones with the folding little edges, you know, that would be cool. Maybe one of the ones with the benches. And then you have like a small, maybe like a kid's room on top. Stairs. So you got the twin size beds. You could even put like maybe bunk beds against this wall. And I mean, you could even do a whole wall along this side, right, where these steps are, if you wanted more privacy. That's looking out, little kitchen. And then this is like, I guess, the master bedroom, you would say, right? Which it is small, but like I said, for like me and my rib personally, we were thinking of getting the 2-story one, and then I can easily add on a room as we get more money or more funds. Because like I said, I have experience in carpentry and framing, stuff like that. Little restroom, and then they're on the lake, right? And then, I mean, you could put it on cement blocks like this, or you can just put it on gravel. I would recommend the block idea, but again, I can do this. Or we can actually make, what we want to do is they sell these, it's like a hard cardboard type of pipe, and you put those in the ground about 3 feet. You fill them up with cement, and they're circular, they're cylinders, right? And you put them on those. Those would probably be cheaper because you actually do it yourself than getting actual bricks, right? So like I said, that's just another option. 250. I could show y'all at least 10, 15, 20 options, but I got to get on a conference call in a little bit with a few brothers, so I'm trying to keep it kind of short. Danya Allah, is there internet off grid for online jobs? That's a good question. So what you can get internet, right? What we want to do though, so there's a few different ways that you can get electricity, right? You can get internet, but it's probably gonna have to be satellite internet, which is a little bit more expensive. It's probably like maybe $70, 60, $70 a month, I think, around here. But the thing is, how we want to get let me see if I remember what they're called. Nature's generator. Might be this one. The thing is, if you're gonna live off grid, right? Nah, this ain't the one. If you're gonna live off grid, the number one, or the two biggest necessities obviously are electricity and water, right? So at first, at the property where we're gonna go at, there is sewage and there's water lines there. So we're planning on getting the water connected at first until we can get a well. Or what we really want to do is make that trench all the way to the resaca, so we can have that water, which can be, we're looking at different ways of purifying and also catching rainwater. But then also we want to get, so I know I'm talking about water, but I'm going to get into the electricity thing right now too, right? We want to get a few of these as well. So we found some for about 300, the cheapest 500-gallon water tanks, which if we run these, if we connect these one to each home, it'll be enough to last. If you know how to preserve water, right, it'll last at least, if you're a single person by yourself, this could last you a month, right? But that's what we want to do for water, right? But for the electricity thing, this ain't the one that I was looking for. Actually, it's 3,600 watts. So this is basically what we want to do, right? So go solar, but there's also one that comes with the solar panels and the wind turbines. Because down here in South Texas, man, it's always sunny all year long. So for y'all that don't like heat, this might not be the place for you. It's hotter than pretty much anywhere in the United States. Today it got up to like almost 90. I know because I was working outside all day. But so for solar it would be good, but also it's really windy down here. So we want to get the one that has, it's about $3 grand, but again, you can make payments on it. 3,600 watt solar and wind. Hopefully it'll pop up. And I had this all prepared on my phone, but like I said, I just got home from work, y'all, so bear with me. I think it's this one actually. So this is what we're looking at doing for our house. You don't have to do this, right? For yours, there's other means and other methods and stuff like that, which we could talk about. If, like I said, if you're sincere, it's all going to start with answering that questionnaire, and then we could talk more about exactly how much and all the details, right? But this is what we're looking at getting for our home specifically. So it's Nature's Generator Elite Solar and Wind Generator, right? So it comes with 4 solar panels already, okay? Each one of these holds 1800 watts, right? So I mean, most light bulbs are about what, maybe 5 to 60 watts, around there, right? You can get the energy saving ones that give off 50 watts of light, but they only use 5 or 10 watts. So each one of these holds 1800 watts, right? That's 3600 in total. Then you have the solar panels to charge them, and a wind turbine. And I believe you can connect one more wind turbine if you buy another one, and a couple more of the solar panels. But so the price is 3,000. But if you get it through Lowe's, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. That might be it right there, actually. Okay, Con, yeah, that's the one. So if you get it through Lowe's, oh, let me see, where's the price at? I think it's only like 50. Okay, right there, 48 bucks a month. You know what I'm saying? So like me personally, man, this past summer, because like I said, it's always hot here. It gets up to the hundreds, above hundreds here. My light bill was coming out over $200 a month here in at the place we're staying right now. At the house we were at about a year ago, the light bill would go up to $300 a month. You know what I'm saying? So $48 a month for free electricity. And now, like I said about the water, you would have to be conserving electricity. It's not like right now I got 2 lights on. I got the computer plugged in. I got my phone charging. My children are always leaving the lights on in the kitchen, right? They go and turn it on and all this. You would have to be conserving your energy, right? But if you don't, like say for example, you don't have enough energy in one of these, you can plug them in to an actual outlet to charge them, right? So let's say you need electricity and you can go maybe borrow from somebody else who has some, plug it into theirs, or maybe you go to, I don't know, somewhere else where you could plug it in and charge it, right? But the good thing about these is they're generating their own electricity, right? And say the grid goes down, you're still gonna have the sun and you're still gonna have wind, right? And another thing that we're looking into is bigger wind turbines, because I don't know if y'all seen, but starting this summer, they're gonna start doing some experiments where they're gonna try to block out the sun, right? It came out on ABC and NBC, Fox News, all this stuff, where they're gonna try and literally block out the sun by putting particles and all this stuff to stop global warming, right? So solar panels pretty soon might not be as good as wind is gonna be, right? So if you look at that, 48 a month, right? Plus maybe 250 for the house, or if you get a smaller one, right, it'll be cheaper. Maybe you can go down to as cheap as 200 up to 300 the most. That's only 350 a month, right, for that actual thing. And then when we're talking about the land, depending on how much you want particularly, I mean, we're not going to go over $100 a month. More probably closer to 50, like $50 a month, right? So like I said, 250 plus another 50, that isn't really that bad, right? But if you got to keep this in mind too, though, if you have a large family, you may need to get 2 of these, right? You may need to get 2 of them. So that still wouldn't be that bad though. Say 100 plus 250, that's only 350 a month. Last summer, or about a year and a half ago, like I was saying, I was paying that much for light every month, you know, so that's not bad. Bianca B, do you know if the sheds are water resistant? So Khan, if you get the paint on them, if you get them painted, which obviously you're gonna get them painted, right? It's water resistant paint, and the roofs also are water resistant, and I think they have like a 10 or 12-year warranty on the roofs themselves, and structural warranty as well. Carla Cardenas, hotspot internet is something I've seen lots of off-gridders use and say it's the best. So Khan, that's another thing that we can definitely do. or look into. Resin Williams, the location doesn't have creeks or rivers. So, like I said, probably about maybe a football field's distance away from the back of the property, there is a resaca. I don't know if y'all know what that is. It's basically, it's a man-made river, right? So it's big. It's a huge body of water, and it connects to other resacas in the area. So we're looking to get a trench to build a trench, which we would just have to ask the neighbors, maybe pay them a few $100 to make a trench, which I know how to do. We just got to rent a trencher, right? And put a pipe going to the resaca and then cover up where we dug. Because, like you said, it doesn't have creeks. There is actually, through the center of the property, right? Through the center of the property, it kind of, the property goes like this, right? And then in the middle, it drops down where when it rains, it actually is a creek, right? But right now, it's just, we're in like a little drought right now. So it hasn't rained enough to fill up that creek. But like I said, if we dig a well, which we definitely want to do, if we dig a well and put a pump in, which isn't very hard to do, we can do that in maybe 2 days. If I have another brother's help, probably we could do it in a day. If we dig a well and just start pumping it, right? Pump the water when it gets low, there is a creek going through the middle of the property, probably about 2-3 acres of it. Kingdom Minded 144K. We can have some real estate homes. What do you mean by that? Real estate homes, like an actual, you mean like an actual brick home, or not sure what you mean by that. If you want to elaborate on that. So yeah, so this is light, the actual thing. I showed y'all the water. Let me there's smaller water tanks too, right? So let's say 200 gallon water tank. So these are the smaller ones. Like I said, you can find some for pretty cheap. The 200, I think we saw some for about $200. So right here, 200 gallon water tank. If a drought or for any reason you are cut off your local water supply, you don't have to stress having backup storage to help you during that period. Tanks are manufactured, whatever, right? So what we want to do is get like at least one 500 gallon, right? And then maybe a couple smaller ones to fill up with from the well or from the resaca to to water the plants that we're gonna have, or not the plants, but the crops, right? Do y'all have tornadoes in Los Fresnos? So I've never heard of ever a tornado ever being here, right? And since I've lived here, how long have I lived here? Since like 2000, about 21 years, because I was born in San Antonio. It's only snowed here 2 times, right? Which this past winter. So like, I'm really tired right now. I've been up since like 5 in the morning. In the winter when it froze, I'm sure you guys saw on the news how it froze here in Texas that time, and then years back, it snowed as well. So in 20 years, it's only snowed twice. No tornadoes. Every once in a while, maybe 5 or more years, there's hurricanes, right? But that's about it. Kingdom Minded 144. We have shooting ranges and militant practices for the race wars to come. So that one of the questions, let me see if I can find it real quick because it goes along with this. One of the questions that is on the little questionnaire application, whatever you want to call it, right, is something pertaining to that. Let me see. Okay, here it is. One of the questions is, are you willing to learn and use necessary and profitable skills that would be taught by me, my wife, in parentheses if you're a female, or possibly other brothers or sisters. Examples: learning how to use and carry a firearm, learning how to sew, learning how to build, clearing land, taking care of and growing crops and animals, etc. Right? So one of the things that we definitely want to do is put a small I guess shooting range or target practice area. Obviously we'd have to build a wall out of dirt and make it safe, but that's definitely one of the things that we want to do as well. I have mats, and I have like jiu-jitsu or grappling, wrestling mats, whatever you want to call them, for like men that want to train. I have a bunch of boxing and kickboxing, Muay Thai equipment, punching bags, weights, all that type of stuff as well for anybody who would want to do it right. But yeah, so that's definitely something we would look into. Since Yolanda D, since most pueblos in Mexico use water tanks, it could be cheaper to drive down and purchase some. So Khan, it might be, but the thing is, they have a pretty heavy pretty big tax bringing stuff back and forth. And another thing is, in order to get a tank like that, they're very large tanks. We'd obviously have to have a truck. And in Matamoros, which if you saw the map, it's this city, Los Fresnos. Well, it's gonna be outside of Los Fresnos, right? But then it's Los Fresnos, then it's Brownsville, and then across from Brownsville is Matamoros, which is the closest part of Mexico to us. That area is very well known for stealing. They steal trucks, right? So that we wouldn't want to be, to be honest with you, it wouldn't be a good idea to take a truck down there, because there is a lot of cartel activity in the area, and not to where like you have to worry about it. But the main thing that people tell you is don't take a truck over there, because I personally know my mom's boss who works in Harlingen, which is the next city over in the other side towards the north. He went to Mexico not too long ago. It was this past year, and he had a big old F-350 or F-250, and yeah, they stole it from him. So that probably would not be a good idea. If you're gonna go travel over there to maybe just like do tourist stuff during the daytime or go buy things, and you're not in a truck, I mean, I wouldn't see any problem with that. Some of my tias and cousins and stuff like that go and get dental work done there and stuff like that, right? So it's not that bad, but yeah, taking a truck over there probably wouldn't be a smart idea. Kingdom Minded 144, I had my friend cousin got killed by cartel. So was that in Mexico or was that over here? So down here, everybody knows that there's cartel around, but the thing is, I mean, as long as you don't get involved, they don't really mess with anybody, right? Unless you have a truck or unless you're flaunting money or trying to act tough, stuff like that, they really don't mess with people, right? Something, when I used to work in Brownsville, I worked for the city of Brownsville, actually, for the Parks and Recreations Department. So we would be going to park to park to park, cutting the parks, the grass and trees and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, we would see cartel often, cartel members and stuff like that. And I mean, they would just nod or whatever. It's not like in the movies where they're just gonna start shooting people up everywhere and stuff like that, right? I mean, I think that's pretty much it, just to go over like the brief. Oh, you know what? Let me just look up a few jobs in the area. Let's see, I'll do Brownsville jobs. And like I said, there's actually a lot of jobs in this area. It's just that they don't pay as much as up north. If you're a truck driver, there's so many truck driving jobs around here because it is a border city. So a lot of stuff gets brought into Brownsville and into Harlingen and then gets moved north, right? A lot of truck driving jobs and a lot of labor jobs. If you're not afraid of doing labor, you can definitely get hired in this area. Let me put work from home, part-time, hiring immediately. So I don't know what kind of jobs y'all would specifically be looking at, right? What about for the children? What do you mean? What about for the children? Not so look, bag machine operator starting at $12 an hour will train. Novalex Holdings. So yeah, this is probably about 20 minutes away from here, or from where the property's gonna be, right? $12 an hour for down here is a pretty good payment, right? Pretty good pay. Ashley Warehouse Associate, Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin. So that's another thing. Down here in Brownsville, like I said, there's a lot of migrant workers. So a lot of the jobs, you just got to be careful if you're looking at them. A lot of the jobs is we'll hire you, but you got to go work in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in all these other places. It's for like migrant workers, right? Legal assistant, 10 to 15 an hour. Customer service representative, 18 to 22. There's a lot of customer service as well. There's a lot of customers. There's a lot of what are they called? Like customer service, not warehouses, but like where they have, like I know there's a Dish Network that they have hundreds of people working in there doing customer service, just taking calls. There's like 3 or 4 places in Brownsville that do the same thing. So if you can take calls all day, there's definitely work for you down here, right? ACT, I've worked at this place, Advanced Call Center, right? 9 to 15 an hour based on experience. I worked there, and let me tell you, man, that's one of the most stressful. If you can do it, all power to you. But that's one of the most stressful things to do, just taking phones. I worked for the Bank of America department, so it was just people calling in. My debit card doesn't work. I'm trying to buy blah, blah, blah. Make it work. You know what I mean? Like just talking all types of crap to you all day. But you really don't need any experience. So 9 to 15 an hour, I'm sure that's based off of experience. So look, qualifications, all you need is a high school diploma. You know what I mean? To answer phone calls. Position summary, customer service associate, receive inbound calls from customers, right? So, I mean, if you can do that type of work, customer service, which me personally, I can't do that. I'll go crazy. I'd rather be working all day in the heat, right? Food service rep. You can do sales work as well. If you have any experience in sales, you can get a job down here. Office clerks. There's also a lot of office jobs around here. Theater team member. They're always hiring at the mall, of course, as well. But that's probably going to be $8, maybe $9 an hour, right? Medical assistant. There's also a lot of medical. If you're a medical assistant, if you're a nurse, obviously a doctor, but I doubt there's that many doctors. Medical assistant or nurses, always hiring around here, right? Always hiring. Another call center, 14 an hour. Armed security. Oh, another thing is security jobs. If you're licensed, like a PSO, personal security officer, I believe is what it's called. If you have any type of certificate or license to be a security officer, there's security jobs in Brownsville, in Harlingen, in South Padre Island, which is about maybe 30 minutes away from here, but they'll probably pay more because that's that's the rich part of the valley. So customer service rep, 9 to 15 an hour. Customer care agent, $10.50. Customer service. So like I said, there's a lot of customer service, bilingual customer service. So another thing is this place right here, Maximus. I believe they start at like 12 an hour. But if you're bilingual, if you speak Spanish, they'll probably start you at like maybe 14 or 15, right? Just because you know Spanish. Management positions, customer service. So like I said, if there's a particular field that you want to look into, I mean, I would just recommend you go to Indeed.com, right? And just put whatever job it is that you're looking for. and you can look for it, right? Like I believe the brother Danya Allah, what did you say you did, like something with, was it networking, computer networking, or something like that? I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of jobs there too. Another thing is they just built, I mean, I personally wouldn't want to work for them, but they just built what is that, Tesla, what is it called, something X? If any of y'all know what I'm talking about, what is it? Elon Musk's company, is it Future X or Internet Technician? So I'll look that up right now. But if any, do any of y'all know what I'm talking about? Where Elon Musk has some company, it's called something X, not Generation X or Tesla X. I'm not sure what it's called. So Internet Technician. Automotive technician, billboard installer. Oh man, so this is another thing, bro. If you're a billboard installer, they make bank. I had a friend that was making like, I think $25 or $27 an hour doing this. Just putting up the billboards, right? Field project technician, drafting technician, pharmacy technician. This is another thing that's a lot of people are hiring for around here, pharmacy techs. But I know you got to have a certificate. Inside sales. Yeah, so I don't see one for internet tech, but this is just one website. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of other websites besides Indeed if you want to look it up. SpaceX. Okay, SpaceX. That's what I was talking about. It's different branches like security or software programming. Okay, but they just made a SpaceX. You might be able to find a job. So check this out. They just made a SpaceX in Brownsville, which, like I said, Brownsville is only 10 to 20 minutes away, depending on what part of Brownsville you're going to. Oh, let me put jobs. And they're hiring a lot of people. One of my cousins actually just got hired. She got hired doing like janitorial type of thing, and she's getting $15 an hour. So I mean, for down here, that's pretty good, right? Integration technician, welders. Another thing, we got the Port of Brownsville right here. If anybody does welding, they pay really good for doing welding, any type of welding, whether it be even underwater welding, like any type of welding, pipe fitting, stuff like that. Go back to Indeed real quick. But yeah, like I said, SpaceX is hiring up for a lot of positions. Porter, shuttle driver, barista. They got a bar in the damn place. Environmental health, logistics specialist, food service specialist. So all of these are temporary, or a lot of them say temporary. But it's like my cousin that had got hired. They said it's temporary, but you have like a probationary period. I think it was like 60 or 90 days. And as long as they like the way you work, they'll hire you full time, right? Content producer, supervisor, IT systems analyst. I don't know if you could do something like that, communications technician, culinary steward, Starship nose cone integration technician, manager, structural welder. So like I said, there's a lot of welding jobs, facility technician. But as you can see, there's like, I think last time I checked, there was like 8 or 9 pages of just SpaceX jobs, right? Electrician, heat shield technician. They're also hiring security guards as well. Production manager, kitchen lead, pipe welder, automation and controls technician. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all of them, but if y'all want to check it out, it's just to give you an idea that there is a lot of jobs in the area. And it's crazy because I hardly watch the news, but when I did see the news, probably maybe a week or two ago, they were saying that there's such a high unemployment rate here in the valley. They call this part of Texas the valley because it's really flat. They said, I can't remember the the amount or the number of people that are unemployed here, but it was like a ridiculous number. I think we're like the second or third highest unemployed county, right? Cameron County, I think it was like the third or something in the whole United States. But there's a lot of jobs. It's just that people don't want to work, right? So yeah, if there's no more questions, I mean that's just the basics of what we're doing. Like I said, I'm putting together like I guess you could say like a slideshow type of presentation, PowerPoint thing for somebody who wants to invest somebody who's looking to invest a good amount of money. And when I do that, I'll probably just have a live, or I'll just post a video of just going through the slides. You know what I mean? Just so y'all could check it out too if you're interested. But like I said, if you're sincerely interested in doing it, the first step would be like I said, email me. The brother Danya Allah had put it up. It's kingdoms.path.144@gmail. Don't message me on Instagram because, like I said, I have too many messages to even get to, and then more people message, and your message gets pushed down, and then I can't get to all of them, right? But like I said, the main purpose of this is we are trying to come out of her, right? Come out of Babylon to the best of our ability, and you know, really just try and get away from as many abominations of the people as possible. You know what I'm saying? Go ye out of the midst of her, right? Deliver ye every man his soul. Like, we're trying to stay away. The more people you're around, the more temptations there are, right? The more people you're around, the easier it is to get spirits on you, right? So let me pull up a couple more verses. This Psalm 33 and 1. Psalm 33 and 1. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity, right? It's a good and a pleasant thing for brethren to dwell together in unity, right? We're trying to dwell and be in unity with brothers and sisters. And like I said, even if maybe you have a different understanding of certain things, if you're trying to follow the Bible like sincerely and in humility, I'm sure we can work that out, right? Which why one of the questions, I have it right here again, it says if you have a different understanding than me or others that are living on the property, right? When it comes to observance of feast days, holy days, Sabbaths, etc., are you willing to have a discussion / forum with me and other brothers, depending on how many brothers are living on the land, in order to diligently seek to come to a common and agreed upon understanding, right? So like say me, the brother Danya Allah, and another brother, say Kingdom Minded, and the brother Jomar or someone else, we're all living there, right? Just for an example. And let's say one of the brothers thinks the understanding of something is this, and then two brothers think this, and then one brother thinks something else. We could all come together and like, okay, brother, you go first. And you make out your point. Okay, these precepts say this, blah, 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 blah. The next brother, okay, this, blah, 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 blah. The other two brothers, okay, this, and then try and come to a common understanding, right? Because like it says in Philippians 2:2, let me get it real quick. Philippians 2:2, fulfill ye my joy. So you're fulfilling the Most High's joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind, right? We're going to try and be as like-minded as possible, right? Having the same love, which 1 John 5:3, obviously, if you love the Most High, you keep his commandments. 1 John 5:2 says, if you love the children of the Most High, you love the Most High and keep his commandments, right? Being of one accord, of one mind. We all want to be on the same mind, the same mind frame. You know what I'm saying? So the very first thing that we want to do when we get there, because it's so simple, and I mean I can do it very, very easily, is make chicken coops, right? I'll just show y'all a couple more things, and then probably gonna get off of here. I haven't even eaten dinner yet, and I still need to get on a conference call with a few brothers. So this style of chicken coop, it would obviously be bigger. Now this is $224. I'm telling you, I can get all the materials to build this for probably $100 or less, and we can put it together, right? I already have the tools. I got saws and hammers and drills, all the stuff we need for it. We just have to buy the wood, right? This would be so easy, so simple to make, right? And the thing about living down here in the valley, or they call it the valley, right, in the Los Fresnos, Harlingen, Brownsville area, is there's like farms and stuff everywhere. People have farm animals. People have farm animals that are easy. We could easily find chickens, sheeps, goats, all that type of stuff, right? There's always, if you drive through the back roads going to other cities, there's always people that have signs selling chickens, selling goats, sheep, all that type of stuff, right? So it would be really easy to find some, right? So like this right here, this is in Brownsville. Baby chickens for sale, pollitos de venta, $5, right? We get $100 worth of chicks, and that would be what, 20 chicks right there. All right, month old, but they grow pretty fast, and they multiply like crazy. So look at this, free chicken. 8 hens and 2 roosters, free to good home, 4 months old. So actually, I'm gonna call this as soon as we get off of here. I'm gonna call this as soon as we get off of here. Free chickens, 8 hens and 2 roosters to a good home. Most high willing, I'll get these right now. We'll already be 10 chickens and roosters deep, right? I'm gonna save that one right there. So yeah, it would be easy to get chickens. They have sheep, goats, all that type of stuff around here, right? Depending on the type you want. So like this one's 120, 150. Depending on the type, you can find some cheaper ones if they're not fully grown, right? Borreguitos, so that means like smaller ones, right? Heifers. Eventually, it would be cool to get some cows, livestock. Horses would be awesome, but the first and foremost, we want to get chickens, sheep, goats, and plants. Make a garden, right? Which again would be those are like the main things we want to do. So yeah, I see $85. I've seen them for as low as $50, right? And then we want to make a type of not so much a greenhouse, but if you look on the next main street, or not main street, but it's farther down from where our house is. They grow a bunch of plants and they sell them to Lowe's, and it's basically greenhouses, but it's just tela. It's just like that black, the rolls of black stuff they put down like on the ground under plants and stuff. They just make the posts and they put those all around just to protect plants from the sun. But yeah, so that's just I think that's pretty much all I wanted to go over right now. Kingdom Minded 144. What about a ranch? I'm not sure what you mean. Like we wanna have horses and stuff like that, but the thing with the ranch, when you think of an actual ranches are huge, right? There's ranches for sale around this area, but you're gonna have to pay maybe $150,000 and up, right? The property that we're looking at right now, they're asking $89,000 for it, right? I'll tell y'all that they're asking $89,000, but we're trying to get them down to 75. Maybe most high willing 70 would be awesome, but it's more than likely going to be 75,000, right? Which putting down 10% would be 7,500. Putting down 20% will be what, 15 grand, right? So that's what we're looking at paying. And like I said, I mean, me and my rib have enough to put the down payment on the actual land, but we still need to have enough to get a house and things of that nature, fix up certain things, which is why we're looking into other people to invest as well. But like I said, we already have one person that is willing to invest a lot of money. And like I said, we're gonna sell a property soon for this person in order to pay for the whole down payment. And then most high willing, we will personally get at least two or three maybe small houses. That way another brother or family or whatever can come in and just move in. They would just have to fix up, bring whatever they have, fix up all the inside however they want it, right? And actually, let me show y'all something real quick, and then I'm gonna get off of here. I ran into a brother on Instagram not too long ago. Like Most High made it happen, right? It's actually right here. It's Jonathan's house, right? I recommend y'all go check out his videos, right? And subscribe to him and support the brother. So him and his wife and their twin baby boys and their daughter also moved to the Ozark Mountains. This is another people that some more Israelites that moved to the Ozark Mountains, which is in like the Missouri area, and they're living off grid, right? So now this isn't something I personally would be able to do because I got 4 children in my rib, but they bought, I think, 10 acres, right? And they're living out of a Kodiak canvas tent, right? They're living out of a tent, which is a really nice tent. But I don't know how many people would actually want to do that, right? So I'm not gonna play the whole video because it's taking a long time to load. Let me put the quality lower. So yeah, I recommend y'all go and check out these brothers' videos. It's Jonathan's house, right? He's got a couple of cool videos. They just moved out here, like not even, I think at the beginning of the month actually. So this is a tent that they're actually living out of until they can build a cabin, right? They lived in Florida. This is a brother right here, Jonathan, and see he's carrying a gun, which I definitely would too if I had 10 acres and I had my rib and children to look after, right? But if you check out the video, I mean, it's a good sized tent. It has like 3 rooms and stuff like that. So again, if y'all want to check that out, they show how they get water off grid. They show their little setup, right? They even have, I mean, because they just moved out there completely off grid, like just, okay, we're packing up everything and we're leaving. Right? And he explains why they moved off grid as well and things of that nature. Well, this is their toilet right now, right? So I mean, there's a lot of people that are living like this. It's actually it's becoming a more and more common thing, right? And some people may say, well, that's not for me, or I don't want to do that, or I don't need to do that, right? Well, if you don't need to do that, then don't do it, right? This definitely isn't for everybody, and it definitely takes sacrifices, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that are saying, I can't do that, right? I can't do that. But you have to understand that anybody could do this, but it's all about priorities. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I could have bought a car with the money I have saved. We could have gone on vacation, a few vacations somewhere, right? But instead I saved the money. I've never owned a brand new car. I've never owned a brand new car. We could have gotten a nicer place. Not that the place we're living at right now isn't nice, but we could have been living at a nicer place We've never spent more than $750 a month for rent, right? Me and my rib, because we're not trying to waste. Me and my rib have been together about 8 years, a little more than 8 years, and we've lived at 6 different places, right? 6 different places. We calculated all the rent that we've paid during the time we've been together, and it was like $35,000, right? It was like almost $40,000. So taking all that rent, man, we could have just put it into a place, probably being close to owning our own land by now. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about priorities. And like I said, if you feel like this isn't for you, then and you don't want to do it, then don't do it, right? It's all about if the Most High puts a spirit on you to actually do it. So Yah's child, Reek, have you looked into container homes, Zach? So yeah, we have looked into container homes. That's actually me and my rib. Salakia, 1 second. So me and my rib actually took some architecture classes years back. We went to college together, and that was our dream, actually, was to do shipping container homes. The only problem with that is, number one, the majority of people will not. It's going to be very, very, very hard, difficult to find someone who will finance shipping container homes, right? Especially if you're going to have to go through a bank or something. If you got cash to do a shipping container home, then that's beautiful. That's an awesome idea. It already comes with the floor, right? You just got to you put the studs for the walls, put some insulation, put some drywall or wood over it, and you got the whole box, right? Because it's a shipping container. Cut some holes for windows and stuff like that. But like I said, if you have the cash to do that, one shipping container is about $3 grand, right? So you need to make a decent or livable home, you need at least 2, right? 2 to 4, depending on the size of your family. So $3 grand, at $3 grand a piece, let's say you get 3 of them, that's 9,000, right? That's already 9,000 that you got to up front, boom. And that's just for the shipping containers, right? Then you're going to need at least maybe 1,000 for each one, right? So let's say you did 3, you spent $3 grand on each one, that's 9 grand. Then you need at least 1,000 to build the walls on the inside, right? So you're looking at about 12,000 just for that. You know what I'm saying? Then you still got to get at least a couple AC units, the window units, which I mean that's a few hundred. Then you still gotta there's a lot. You gotta run the electricity, right? Unless you're gonna get one of the solar, like I said, that's the best route to go. And then you still got all your furniture and stuff like that. If you have some and you're bringing it, then that's cool. But the shipping container thing, like I said, that's a really good idea that me and my rib like. But you have to have a lot of money up front in order to do that. Carla Cardenas, with the heat, I say Earthship homes will be the best option. They are beautiful. So yeah, that's a good option as well. But depending on what time, because there's different types of Earthship homes. I've seen them make them out of tires. I've seen them make them out of like clay with the ground, and they use other materials. I've seen them make them out of the what are they called? Like the sandbags, right? So that would just be a matter of getting the materials and all of those things, right? So those are all definitely options that we've looked at most of them, and the quickest route is going with like the small tiny homes, like they like to call it, right? Because even if you're looking at like the Earthship homes, that's gonna take some people. That's gonna take some manpower. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, so Carla Cardenas, obviously you're a sister. If I don't know if you're married, but like let's say it's you and your husband, and then me, and maybe my rib, like 4 of us to make one of those would probably take a few weeks to put together. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be even more time. Like, where are you gonna stay in the meantime? You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be more, maybe you're going to have to get a hotel, or you're going to have to, well, whatever, maybe even stay in a tent like that brother. And like I said, y'all should really check out those videos, because they really made me and my rib and even my oldest daughter realize, like, man, that would be kind of cool to do that. You know what I'm saying? To temporarily live like that, because eventually I believe that there's gonna come a time when we're gonna have to live like that, right? Like it says in Second Ezra's. I'll pull it up real quick. Second Ezra 16 and 40. So this is talking about in Jacob's trouble when things get really, really bad, right? Most High willing, maybe we can even make some type of hidden, maybe underground type of thing to hide out in if we have to. But if not, I mean, I believe most people are going to have to end up doing this. Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. Make you ready to the battle of all these evils and plagues that are going to happen, right? And in those evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. If you look at the word pilgrim, it means one of two things. It means either someone who has to travel and live in another land where they're not from, or it means someone that has to move from place to place to place to get certain resources, right? So imagine like Walking Dead, the Walking Dead type of thing, where you got to keep moving. Okay, there's no food here. Okay, we got to go over here to get food, that type of thing, right? Which living out of a tent would be beneficial just to get the experience of doing it. And knowing that you can do that. Because like I was going to say, me and my rib and my oldest daughter really, really realized that, you don't need as much. None of us need as much as much stuff as we have, right? We could live with a lot less. Necessity, the necessities, you know what I mean, is all we really need. So living off grid or living in a tent type of setting for a short period of time, maybe while you're getting your house built or whatever the case may be, or while you're building your house, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some brothers live in these types of tents as well, which they're pretty spacious. They're waterproof, windproof. They have like mosquito nets and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I've seen people live in these type of tents too, and they open up at the bottom, which is pretty cool, in case you want to like get some air or you just want to let everything out, whatever. They have some pretty big ones. Let me see if I can. They have bigger ones that I believe they're like $600. This is just more like a temporary thing. To be honest, if I was, like, say I was a single brother, right? Which I'm gonna be perfectly honest with y'all. If it's a single, me and my rib, when we originally talked about this and brought up the idea, and even when I talked to other brothers that have done this, like I told you, I know about 3 Israelites that started doing this in the Ozark Mountains, which is in Missouri, right? And when we originally talked about it, it was like, hey, the best thing to do, or the best type of people to have living with you, is families, right? If it's a husband and wife and children, right? Why? Because normally, the majority of times, a husband has more motivation to work for them, to provide for them, to do things right for them, right? Now, that's not to say like a single brother or a single sister couldn't do it or we wouldn't accept them, but it's just going to be, I would definitely have to have a personal, we'd have to build a personal relationship first, talking and getting to know each other, things of that nature, right? Because like I said, there's some crazy sounding people that already wanted to be a part of this. So this tent, $750, right? $750. Now that may seem like a lot of money, but when you look at the size of it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that fits 6. That looks like full-size beds, right? Like that's a good size tent, right? If I was a single brother and I heard about this type of idea, like somebody was gonna have land and I could go move out there and I knew, look, maybe I don't have enough money to start getting my own place, or I'm gonna go work over there and save up to whatever, right? I personally wouldn't mind living in one of these for a few months. You know what I'm saying? I personally wouldn't mind. Now maybe some of y'all do. It's got mosquito nets and stuff, right? It's got a vent at the top, so you can even connect like a stove, a wood stove, something like that. But that's just me, right? I'm not sure about some of you brothers. Obviously, if you have a family, this probably you probably wouldn't want to do this, right? But it's just different examples, right? Just different ideas. School buses make Carla Cardenas. I don't know if you have an Instagram, but you should follow my rib if you're not, because y'all are like-minded, because all these ideas you're saying, she's gone through all of these. School buses make good sturdy homes too. We don't mind tent living temporarily. So same here. My rib said the same thing. If it was temporarily, we wouldn't mind it either. And we were actually looking into school buses. When we went to San Antonio, I'm sure some of y'all had seen, if you're following my Instagram, we went to San Antonio not too long ago, and there's a place in San Antonio which is about 4 hours away from here, and they sell buses, and they have some for as cheap as 5, 6, 7,000, you know, and they even finance, right? They finance. So that's actually something we were looking into as well. But the only thing with that, again, is it's a process. It'll probably take you a good month, maybe 2 months, depending on, are you married, sister? Because I know you said we don't mind living temporarily. So are you married? And if you are, does your husband have any experience in like construction type of stuff? Because I mean, I've seen a few projects of the bus type of thing, and I mean, it looks pretty fun, to be honest with you. It looks like fun to go through the whole process, you know, gut out a whole bus and then build it up and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool to do. But again, it probably take a month or two to do that. So temporarily, you probably would have to live in a tent or something of that nature while you get it ready. And the other thing with the bus also is you can't really finance it. You know what I'm saying? You know, nobody's gonna no bank is gonna approve a loan for you, a home loan for you to fix up a bus, right? So again, you'd have to have some money in order to do it. And like I said, if somebody is gonna move on the property and they need help building or fixing up or stuff like that, I mean, obviously I'll help as I can. Like I said, I have my own business, so I can pretty much make my own hours, you know. But yeah, that's definitely something else we looked into. Let me just show some people, in case somebody hasn't seen them before. So if you go on YouTube, they got some pretty cool videos of some like little school bus houses. This, you can tell this is a small one. So that's how it's getting gutted, right? So it's basically like living in an RV. You know what I'm saying? And around here, there's a couple RV places as well. I don't know if some of y'all, that might be an option if you want to live in an RV, whether it be temporarily or permanently. But there's a few places where they have RVs for sale around here. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've never seen one like that. That's nice. See, and the thing is, again, I mean, the school bus thing is pretty small. So you'd have to be maybe 4 or 5 people at the most if you have small children, right? We've seen one where there's a design. It's like this. You go down and it's got 2 bunk beds on one side, 2 bunk beds on the other side. So for 4 children that were living in there. And then it had a room in the back with a queen size bed, a small room for the parents. So, I mean, that's pretty much the biggest size. So yeah, this right here, that looks cool to me. Like, to gut everything out take out all the benches, strip the floor, you know what I'm saying? Strip the walls. That would be pretty cool to do. So yeah, me and my rib are actually still open to this idea, but at the same time, we're thinking like if we go this route, we're gonna have to live in a tent temporarily, which might not be that bad of an idea, like I was saying, right? So yeah, it's gutting it out. Not really seeing the ones I was thinking of. So this might be cool for like one person. Oh, Salaki, let me go back. Where is it? The dude, how he was unfolding it. This, like that might be cool for one person, you know what I'm saying? And of course there's different size buses, maybe two people even. Or 3, 4. I don't know how comfortable people will be living like this. But me, personally, me and my rib would need space. You know what I'm saying? So the route that we're really looking to go is the TR 1600. Also mainly because we want to get one of these and then add on to it, right? We want to give our oldest daughters a little more privacy and we want to get this right. And then how I showed the kitchen and living room on the bottom, a small restroom, and then our room on top, which would be the whole thing. And then in the back, probably do an additional room, which, like I said, I mean, I can do. And my rib's dad is actually a contractor. I know I mentioned this in one of the videos or lives I did before. He's a contractor. He builds houses. He's literally built hundreds of houses throughout his lifetime. And he said that he's willing to come down, and if we do get our own place like this, he's willing to come and do free work for us. So me and him building a room, we can do that in a couple days. You know what I'm saying? And for cheap, just for the price of the wood. So that's the main reason we personally are going this route. But, you know, we're open to people that are moving on. Maybe you want to do the bus route. Maybe you want to do something else. I mean, we're definitely open to talking about it and things of that nature, right? You can't see the screen out. Damn, so I just showed you all of that and didn't even show you right. It's all good. I do follow her, so Khan, all praises. I'll share the screen right now. That's my bad, y'all. I've been up since like 5 in the morning. Yes, I am married. He is strong, but building isn't his stronghold. Khan. So if he's following me, actually tell him to message me, just saying that he's your head, just so I could know who he is, sis, please, Baba Kashar. Just so you know, maybe I could build a relationship with him and stuff of that nature. Because like I said, to be honest, our initial idea and talking to other brothers and sisters that have done this idea and that have families and stuff like that, they were saying the same thing. I mean, the safest bet would be families, right? Because a man who has children and has to provide for his children is going to be, the majority of the time, right, not all the time, is going to be more responsible and trying to look out for his children and provide and things of that nature. Which I'm not saying like brothers like Danya Allah, I'm pretty sure you don't have any kids, right? But you know, if we build a good relationship or whatever, it's definitely possible for single brothers or even sisters, whatever, to move out as well, right? So let me just share this screen, and what time is it? 8:49. I really gotta get on that call in a minute. So yeah, school bus home. So this is one of them. As you can see, they got the table over here, couch, bunch of storage, bed in the back. So that one's pretty cool. That's the one I said I've never really seen one like that. That's pretty small. Let me go back actually. So that's more of a house looking type, right? And the other good thing about the school bus idea is that you can like say, all right, I want to take we've been on this land for a few months and we haven't really left. Let's go take the bus to wherever, right? Like I said, if you look up South Padre Island, it's like 25, 30 minutes away from where the land's going to be. And it's a really beautiful beach, right? There's places where you can even drive on. I remember in school, they would take us on the school buses to the beach there. It's 25, 30 minutes away. It's beautiful. It's the number 2 or number 3 spring break destination in the whole United States. So you know it's beautiful. But yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like gutting the whole bus, that looks like a fun process. You know what I'm saying? Like I would actually enjoy doing that. You know what I'm saying? Ripping out all the seats and just tearing it all up, right? That would be cool to me. So I wouldn't mind helping do that if a brother or sister wanted to go that route. But like I said, this would probably be for a smaller family. Or I mean, even like I said, I've seen up to 5 or 6 people living in one of these. It just depends on you, right? Most people would be like, oh, I would never live in that, right? I need a nice apartment, a nice home, blah, blah, blah. To me and my rib personally, I mean, if we got the necessities and we're good, we would rather live in this on a big amount of land than live in a big old fancy house with no land. You know what I'm saying? And this is something else that's cool. They got the ladder, right? Making sure y'all can see. They got the ladder going up. So I've seen people make a deck on top. You could barbecue on top, hang out, look at the stars, read the Bible, meditate, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's another cool thing about them. So that's different, right? Did something to the roof. So that looks just like an RV. So this is what I was kind of talking about. I've seen one bus or a couple buses where there's a bunk up here, there's a bunk down here, and I've seen them to where they put them on both sides. So it has a bunk bed here, a bunk bed here. That's 4 people, and then they'll put the master bedroom in the back. So that's already enough for 5, 6 people. You know what I mean? So that would be a smaller one. And of course, they have different size of buses. They got 15-foot buses, 20-foot, 40-foot buses. The 40, I believe it's 40 or 42 is the biggest. Or no, there's even bigger than that. Maybe like 60. Those would be like the ones that you would need for a twin size bed or bunk beds and stuff like that. Right? But like, see, this looks fun to me. All this woodwork and stuff, which again, I mean, I could definitely help do something like that. All right, so it's just some ideas. Like the sister said, this is a pretty good idea. It's a cool idea. Like that looks pretty legit. But again, for the school bus idea, you'd have to have some money saved up. Because no bank is gonna, even if you got plans, look, we're gonna make a school bus house and we got all these plans, it's gonna cost this much and blah blah blah. It's gonna be really hard to find a financial institution that's gonna lend you money to do this type of thing, right? But yeah, like that, all just stripped out, took out the seats, scraped the floor, right? Even this rubber's got to get removed, unless they just put a flooring over it. But I've heard that in the heat, this rubber can start smelling, so it's better if you take it out. And then they strip the walls, I'm assuming so they could put insulation, right? And I mean, look at that. That looks like a legit RV or a mobile home. It's another one. So yeah, again, I mean, that's also another option. And but you definitely have to do like you probably have to live in a tent for a month or 2 months. And then that's another thing, you'd have to buy a tent to live in, you know what I mean? And a good sized tent is gonna cost you over $500, you know what I mean, for a canvas tent, because you can't live in one of those Walmart tents. That ain't gonna cut it for a month or 2. That's probably not gonna cut it, especially for a family of a good size, right? So I guess I'll go ahead and finish with that, unless you Unless anybody has any questions, I can answer any questions. If not, I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna get on a call with Church of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, which I mean it started like an hour ago. Hopefully the brothers are still on. But yeah, Carla Cardenas, he watches your YouTube with me, but he does not have Instagram. He's been interested in knowing about your land, especially for the Most High's community. Khan, so I mean, I don't think he can. I'm not sure if you can message through YouTube. I've never done it or seen if you can, but if you can message me through YouTube, that'll be cool. If not, like I said, my email address is kingdoms.path .144. It's right here. kingdoms.path.144 @gmail. Right? You tell him to email me, and then maybe I could email him, or maybe he can email me his phone number, and I could text him or something like that. Because I'm not gonna put my my phone number on here, obviously, but Khan, that would be cool to talk to him. So if nobody else has any questions, I mean that's the basic thing. Like I said, if you're sincerely interested, either as soon as we get the property and maybe longer down the road, maybe in a few weeks, or if you want it already, just to like look over it, and maybe you're like, yeah, really, this is something I'm really thinking of. I could send you the question. It's like, I guess you call it a questionnaire. I don't want to call it an application because it's not like I'm gonna be like, they said the wrong thing, you're denied. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. But just like some questions that anybody who's interested in moving out is gonna have to answer. All right. And I mean, if you think it's too personal, nothing's really that like personal information. It's just like I'm not gonna be asking for your social security number and your how much you make and all that stuff, right? It's more like to test your spirit, to try your spirit, to see what you would do in certain situations as well, right? Like one of them, hold on, let me get one more other question just so y'all can know more or less. It's more or less to know how you would handle certain situations if they were to arise, and also like what type of person you are, right? So under hypothetical situations, right? One of them says you're living on the property and a brother or sister is starting an argument with you for whatever reason. What would you do, right? Just see how you would react. You know what I'm saying? And then in just like general questions, let me see. I'm just gonna randomly land on one. Okay, what are the top 3 things you value in your life? What are your top 3 motivations, right? So, I mean, there's some people that might answer with some worldly type of answers, and that's just going to be a sign that, like, maybe that's not the right spirit to be living on the property in the community, right? Because, like the sister said right here, especially for the Most High community, that's really what we're trying to do. I mean, if anybody's going to move on the land, it's going to have to be of the Most High, and they're going to have to be willing to live like the property is, how would I say, not for the Most High, but I mean, it's definitely going to be a blessing from the Most High, right? So we're going to have to be living according to his word as a community, as like-minded as possible, and as self-sufficient as possible, right? Because, like I said, pretty soon the shit's going to hit the fan, man, and it'd be better to be with some like-minded individuals and observing a lot of stuff together, whether it be holy days, feast days, things of that nature, right? So with that, I guess there's no more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off because I gotta get on this call. So with that, I give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, B'Hashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, which is the name of the Father and the Son in Paleo Hebrew, and Shalom and Barakatah to all you brothers and sisters who got on here, and maybe later. I know some brothers were saying they couldn't catch it right now, but they're gonna watch the replay. Shalom and Barakatah to you, brothers. If the Most High puts it on your spirit to be a part of this, then and you feel like this is the community, or maybe some of my lessons or whatever the case may be has drawn you to it, then reach out to me. If not, I mean, there's plenty, at least 10 different brothers have hit me up and said, hey, we're doing this in this state, we're doing this in this area. You know what I'm saying? So there may be someone closer to you if that's more fitting for you, or if that's more how would I say, easier for you to do, right? Because I know the majority of y'all don't even live in Texas. I know a couple of brothers do, and a married couple that was asking me about it don't live in Texas. Maybe you could find somebody that you think is sincere and humble and trying to follow the word as well, closer to you. Or maybe this is just planting that seed in your head that you need to do it for yourself, and maybe you and your family, or you and your head, or you and your rib, whatever, want to get with some other brothers and sisters closer to you to do it. Whatever the case may be, it's like Isaiah 55:11 says, the Most High's word doesn't go out and return void. It's going to accomplish what he wants it to accomplish, right? So whatever you got out of this, I'm sure is of the Most High. And yeah, Khan, so hit me up if anything. If not, I pray all you brothers and sisters at least try to get out of these bigger cities. Because like I said, a prudent man foreseeth the evil, but the simple pass on and are punished, right? So with that, I'll say shalom, and I'll probably do a lesson on here either tomorrow or Thursday, right? So shalom and barakatah.